as 500 people in a ballroom in Phoenix. And the hotel called us up, and they said, please don't do it here. We're going to be smocked. It's going to destroy the building. It's been amazing. And outside, sadly, we have thousands of people that can't get in. So you know real estate. I want to thank everybody. You know, last night, and a lot of you saw it on television, it was actually carried live, we had an amazing event, and a very sad event, and yet very beautiful. Because the word is getting out that we have to stop illegal immigration. We have a situation that's absolutely out of control. We have incompetent politicians, not only the president. State. You have John McCain. McShane. I just hate to see when people don't have common sense, don't have an understanding of what's going on, or perhaps don't want to know. Maybe it's campaign contributions, maybe it's special interests, maybe it's lobbyists, but for some reason, some people don't get it, and I don't think they'll be in office much longer. I really. We are going to make this country so great again. We are going to work so hard. And I will say this. When we had our event last night, I saw hardened veteran reporters who were crying. You had to see this. People that I've known for a long time, that I don't even like. They're not good people. How you doing back there? And one in particular, tears are streaming down his face, and I'm saying, I don't believe what I'm saying. I didn't think he had a tear in him. And some of the people that spoke were absolutely amazing. One, their child was killed by an illegal immigrant, shouldn't have been here. And this really began for me, it's very interesting, because when I started, and when they announced, don't forget, everybody said, he's never going to run, right? Then they said, very strongly, you know, these are real knowledgeable people, they don't know anything. Then they said, he'll never file his FBC paper. I filed that 2 weeks. They said, oh, wow. He'll never file his financials because he's not as rich as people think. And they get filed during this week. And by the way, some of the other candidates will not be filing from what I hear, okay? And when they file, the number is actually much higher than anybody ever knew. I'm only saying that because that is the truth of thinking our country needs. We need thinking where trade deals with China, with Japan, with India, with everybody. We're getting ripped. We're being taken apart piece by piece, slowly. Slowly. China laughs at us. They laugh at our stupidity. They laugh at our incompetent politicians. They have geniuses negotiating for them. We have people that don't have a clue. Mexico, and by the way, officially, and I've only said this about 200 times, but it never gets reported. I love the Mexican people. I love them. Many, many people from Mexico, legal. They went in the old-fashioned way. Illegal. And over the years, thousands of people, Hispanics, have worked for me. And many, many work for me now. But thousands. They're incredible people. By the way, nobody ever says it. Nobody ever says it. They always cut that out. And I'll go a step further. I respect Mexico greatly as a country. But the problem we have is that their leaders are much smarter, sharper, and more cunning than our leaders, and they're killing us at the border, and they're killing us in trade. They're killing us. And every once in a while, I'll see a rally, and it's put up by the Mexican government, in my opinion. People come in, they're so perfect. They're like central casting. And you know how long the rallies last? Like about 12 minutes. They go home. But when you do, and I've said this often, it's very, very hard for a very successful person, and I've heard it from the time I was a little boy, to run for president, or even political office. And I find it, and I have headlines every day. ESPN drops Trump. A friend of mine in Paris called, "Oh, Don, it's too bad about ESPN." You know what they were doing? They rented my golf club for a day. They put up a big deposit. I took their deposit, and then I rented it to somebody else. I made $2 for $1. Then the next day, all over the world, NASCAR drops Trump. NASCAR. And then friends of mine call up from Europe. Headlines, NASCAR. Don, it's too bad about NASCAR. I feel so. You know what that one was? They rented a banquet hall at Trump National Doral in Miami for one evening. I took their deposit. You know what? I just rented it for much more money than they were paying. For the price of one. Make money running for president. Then all over the place, I hear Macy's. Now Macy's hurts because the head of Macy's, I thought was a great friend of mine, Jerry London. Nice guy. He called me up, and I'm in New Hampshire, and I'm getting ready to go on to make a speech. Sort of interesting. It's like 6:30 in the evening, and I get a call from Terry London of Macy's. And the speech is packed. Packed. It's a house. It was supposed to be in the house. They didn't have enough room. They had 300-400 people. And they never thought this was going to happen. They thought there were going to be 30, like this. This is a little larger. But the same thing proportionally. So my phone rings, my cell phone. And it's Terry Lindgren of Macy's. And the man on stage is getting ready to introduce me. And he said, and you know, we have Donald Trump, the American dream, and all blah, 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 everything. And my phone rings during the introduction. I'm going to be going up there like in a minute. And he goes, Donald, hi. He's like my best friend. I said, Terry, what's your problem? He said, you're very controversial. He said, now I'm supposed to be going up, I'm supposed to make a speech, I got all these people. And by the way, cameras, just like you have all these cameras, we're live television all over the place like we are now. And he said, Donald, I had calls from Hispanic people saying they're going to boycott Macy's. I don't know what to do. I said, Terry, be tough. They'll be gone. One day. I played golf with, I'm with him all the time. I mean, really was, you understand, because I don't forget things. He said to me, please, Donald, I really, can I cut you? It's not a big deal, I'm selling ties. And you know what, honestly, they were made in China, so I didn't care. So I'm walking up the stairs to make a speech, and I have Lundgren saying, I'd like to cut you because he's going to get some bad publicity, he thinks. And I walk upstairs, and he said, and now the American dream. And I'm still talking to Lundgren, and it's like a minute and a half before I walk on stage. People say, what happened? And I made a good speech, no notes, no nothing. And everybody was happy. And I just got cut from Macy's. And here's the bottom line on Macy's. Thousands and thousands of people are cutting up their Macy's credit. See, I give up a lot. You're going to see how much money I made with The Apprentice come Wednesday or Thursday when I pay my fee. Seriously, it's very good. You know, it's great when you have a big television show. It's like your movie star get a lot, right? Not much, a lot. But you're going to see very impressive movies. So NBC calls me, we'd like to see you. Now, they don't care about inclusion. They were talking about inclusion. You know, they write the press release. So I read this. I say, this is incredible. But they called me, and a couple of months ago, the head of NBC comes to see me. And the head of NBC's boss, I don't want to mention names because they're really good people. They're friends of mine, although I probably will never speak to them again. And you know what the head of NBC's boss, it's Comcast because they own NBC. So I get a call, the head of reality for NBC, the head president of NBC, and the head of Comcast. And they come see me a number of months ago. Please do The Apprentice. Please, they won't deny it. They won't deny it. I said, I can't. I want to make America great again. I've done The Apprentice now for 12 years. And it's a great show. For 12 years, there have been 14 or 15 copies of The Apprentice, every one failed. Every single one. I then get a call, Univision. Now, Univision controls, and by the way, believe me, Univision has a certain power. Now, I didn't know much about Univision. I thought they were very wealthy. They're actually not wealthy at all. They're highly over-levered. They've got, like, I think, $10 billion in debt. They have to do an IPO. Now, how stupid is this? They could have waited a couple of weeks, done their IPO, and been done. Instead, they do it early. They couldn't do it faster. Because you know why? In my opinion, it's only my opinion, the Mexican government totally tells Univision, about 80% of their market, 70% of it, totally tells Univision what to do. Totally. So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders, because we have stupid leaders, okay?
Hey, Ron!
So NBC comes to my office, and they want me to do The Apprentice so badly. And what do? I say, I can't, I'm going to run for president. And by the way, they renewed The Apprentice. They renewed the show, they don't have their star. And everybody else failed with similar shows. And they're angry at me. So again, don't believe the inclusion. They got Reverend Al Sharpton working for them. He's a con man, you have to understand. Reverend Al is a con man. You know, tells people I'm going to picket you if you don't give. I mean, this guy is a con man. But I know him for 20 years. He's fun. You got to understand who you're dealing with. They're taking our manufacturing, they're taking our money, they're taking